You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.
So Halloween's coming up. What's the most reckless thing you've done on Devil's Night?
On Devil's Night?
Yeah, the night before.
So I'll admit it, like when I was in high school, my later teenage years, I wasn't like the, greatest probably person on the planet. My friends and I did some really illegal stuff, like vandalism and just like we caused a lot of chaos and just did a lot of unnecessary things. So, like, we laid low on Devil's Night. We weren't stupid. Like, that's when the most police are out.
Well, good for you.
You can have the most fun on just any random night. Like, don't center it around a holiday. Like, if you guys are just together and the moment's right, that's when is the time to strike. I'm not condoning any illegal activity.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're trying to get yourself into trouble here.
I'm just saying, that was our philosophy.
Well, that's not a bad philosophy to have. That's pretty smart.
That's just being street smart, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think that's kind of what every kid was thinking. I myself used to get into some trouble, and I remember one night we ran into like 3 other groups of kids out TPing and stuff.
Exactly.
And we teamed up and formed like a super gang. It was
that's harmless.
Yeah.
If you're not making anything explode, you're not doing it right.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us this episode. My name is Ben.
And I'm not sure if I want to say my name because I don't want to get in trouble right now. But as always, my name is Jill, and you're listening to At the Fire. This episode, we want to talk about one of the most dangerous things you can do when you're being a little night fiend: breaking and entering. I don't know about you. I've been in one abandoned building in my life.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's fun.
I know.
That's nice.
I watched Disney until I was
It's easy to pick
in,
a favorite that way. But this episode, we're going to hear from a guest storyteller by the name of Alex. He and a friend of his acquired the hobby of breaking into houses and other buildings in their city. One night, they set their sights on a large property that had been on their mind for a while. Not soon after they started to look around, they began to regret even stepping foot inside.
I was low risk kind of guy. Like the legal risk was hard. Like that was just top for me. But my friend Eric, he was trying to break into a building one time, and I saw him cut his finger open. I could see the bone in his hand, and he was like, I think we got to go home. Eric always took it. He was there to take it to the next level, and when I was too afraid to. Yeah, we would just hang out at Eric's house literally all day, playing video games, just fucking around. And then finally when it was like dark enough and late enough, and everyone we thought was asleep, so maybe 12-ish, sometimes later, sometimes earlier, we'd head out. He'd get all dressed up in dark clothes. I would bring my dark clothes, like a hoodie, and then we would just hit the streets. We took a new route towards my high school, and there was a house there that I saw sometimes walking to and from school that was empty, and I thought it was perfect for us to check out because it was a pretty big house, and we always liked looking at the big houses. The way we got in was through this side, I guess it's like a driveway, but it was just gravel. And that led into the backyard. The place must have been empty for a long time because the grass was coming up to my waist at least. And then in the distance, I could see a house in the backyard. Just by luck, we tried the first door, which happened to be the first door, or the door into the garage from the rear side of the garage. So we opened it, got in, we're like, oh wow, great, what's next? So we opened the door into the kitchen. And the house looked like it had been under construction, and the people just left. we make our whole tour through the whole house. We're just like making comments, talking about the house. So it was pretty cool because it was pretty big. And then I notice we're in the kitchen, and then I notice above the doorway into the kitchen, I noticed I want to say it looked like a shield in the dark. That it was just like this little metal shield, probably no bigger than your hand, and it was on there on hooks. And I take it out, and I look at it, and then I toss it at my feet. And I take a step towards my friend, and I heard something scrape across the marble floor. And then I look at my friend, we're both kind of scared, right? We're just like, what the fuck? What the hell was that? We sat there for a second trying to listen to it in the house, see if there's anyone walking around. And we didn't hear anything. So finally, we get the courage to walk down the hallway to hear what the noise was. And it turns out it was this shield that I had just thrown at my feet. I was relieved because I was like, I kicked it. There ain't no one here. I kicked it by accident when I stepped into the kitchen. I don't know why, but deep down I felt like that couldn't have happened. But I just wanted it to be true. So I picked it up. I walked back into the kitchen. This time I hang it back up on its hooks. It's not falling off this time. I'm not going to kick it. And then this time, as soon as I set on the hooks, I step into the kitchen towards Eric. Then it hits the floor again, and then it starts sliding across the marble floor again, and then it hits the wall at the end. I couldn't rationalize what was happening. I don't know about Eric, but I didn't understand. So we're just like, no, there's someone here definitely. Someone has to be here just fucking with us. So we're just like, fuck, let's go find this guy. So we go run around the whole house, and we get to the last room. And there's nothing. We didn't see anybody in the whole house. And all of a sudden we start hearing banging in the kitchen. We're just like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on here? So we finally leave. And we're walking down the street. And Eric noticed his knife is gone. That he always kept a knife on him. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, we're in a rough neighborhood. But this turned out to be his favorite knife. And he was adamant. Like, he was going to go back for it. Like, with or without me. And I was just like, well, fuck, man, I can't let Eric go back by himself. I got to go with him. So we start our walk back. When he starts talking about his back, like, he was telling me, my back is on fire. And I could see, like, the grimacing on his face. Eric has a really high tolerance for pain. I mentioned earlier he cut his finger open. I mean, I could see the bone, and all he said was, "It's time to go home." But this looked like it was really bothering him. So he said, "Can you please look at my back?" I said, "Yeah, dude, I'll take a look." So I lift up his shirt, and he's got 3 scratch marks starting from his right shoulder blade, going to his left hip, and then from his left hip, it went to his right hip. You know, we go inside, and we're looking for this knife, and we can hear banging on the walls. We searched the whole house looking for that knife, and we couldn't find it. Nowhere. All the rooms were empty, maybe save like some like wood planks or a door off the hinge or something. But other than that, there's really nowhere to look other than on the floor. So I'm scouring the floors for this knife, and I can't find anything. Then finally we go back to the kitchen. Meanwhile, we can still hear stuff being thrown in the other side of the house. We finally check this last room that's connected to the kitchen. And in that room, there was a hutch. And that was the only thing in that room. So I go and do a pass to the whole room with my light. Can't find it. Another pass. Can't find it. And then finally, on the third pass, it was just on the hutch, like just sitting there on the hutch. Eric takes the knife, and we just jam out of there. the last time that was memorable was when we finally took Eric's brother, because he wanted to see it too. And Eric brought a backpack and a knife in the backpack. So we're going through the house. You can hear all the banging. So it's like just the typical stuff that we'd seen for days now. So I feel like I kind of grew numb to it. Just like, wow, this is crazy, you know. It didn't harm me, so I wasn't really like too afraid at this point because it never did any real physical damage to me. Eric's brother starts commenting. He's like, wow, this place is pretty crazy, you know. It's haunted. And we're standing in the kitchen. And we're just talking, and I'm standing against the windowsill in the kitchen, leaning against it, and right across from me, like probably a good 5 feet away, is Eric's brother. And to my right, my immediate right, is Eric. Eric's brother decides to turn around. He starts looking through the, he's looking at the living room that's connected to the kitchen. And when he turns around, it looked like someone had a rope tied around him and they pulled him into the room. That's what it looked like to me. And he was hanging on for dear life. Like he was holding on to the side of the walls, just like he wasn't coming back. And as soon as his butt touched the floor, he flew up right away. And like he was just so scared, he ran over to me, and then I could see his fear, the fear in his face turned to anger. He ran towards me, and he grabbed me. He grabbed me by my shirt and tried lifting me up. And he was like, "Why the fuck are you pushing me?" And I was like, "Whoa, you're out of it, man. Like, I didn't push you. Look how far away I am from you. You flew in that room. I don't know what happened to you." And then Eric's brother like jumps in the middle of us, and he's like, "Yo, dude, you fucking flew in that room. Like, we had nothing to do with that." And then he lets me go, and he's like, "Get me the fuck out of here." And then on the way home, I noticed Eric's brother's, the zipper to his backpack is open. And I was like, holy shit, dude, did you lose something? Like, for sure you lost something and your zipper's open. Sure enough, he lost the damn knife. And so we're just like, we'll go back and get it, no problem. So we go through the whole house, we're looking for this knife. And this knife was pretty big. It was probably like 6 inches, 6 or 7 inch knife. And, you know, we're just scouring through the whole house. Like, you can't miss a knife that big. But we couldn't find it. And I was like, okay, last time it was on the hutch. We just got to do a few passes. It'll be there. So we're going through. Couldn't find it. We reached the last room in the house. Can't find it. So finally we're just like, let's go back to the kitchen, back to the garage, and we'll be out of here. As I'm going down the hallway with my crappy light, I could see this thing start to appear on the door. Like, it didn't start to appear, it was there, but my light made it visible. And it was the knife. The knife, whatever it was, stuck that knife so deep into that front door that really made it obvious to me, like, that was it. Like, don't come back. And there's no way that knife could have gotten that deep into the front door without either one of us hearing it, because it was silent. We didn't hear anything. And that knife was jammed in there good. After that, we left, and I never went back. And I don't think it was long after that someone moved in. I tell the story every once in a while. And everyone seems pretty captivated by it, but I don't know, I'm numb to it now. I told the story to my friend one time, and she brought up a really good point. Like, I was somewhere where I shouldn't have been, and maybe it was just a retaliation to our trespassing. I never thought of it like that before. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and I maybe think it was my fault for going in there.
Yeah, so I never broke into abandoned houses only because I was always afraid I was going to find like some, Oh, I'm not to shit on the homeless any more than they already are, but some homeless person.
Well,
Okay.
they could be dangerous. I mean, that's a violent homeless person.
A
That's what you
violent
should say.
homeless person
Well, I
who's
mean,
squatting in a home. A
even
squatter.
If you spooked a homeless person, I'm sure the first thing they're going to try to do is defend themselves. So
Exactly.
maybe that's a valid crit.
Exactly. But like to go into an abandoned house and have something attack you and your friends that you can't even see or defend yourself against. And it was totally playing with them. Totally playing with them.
Well, I mean, that's scary anywhere you go. Like, seriously. But, I mean, especially when you're in an abandoned place.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder. You mentioned how you and your friends were little shitheads and used to cause trouble at night.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever break in anywhere?
So there was one place we had to break into. See, the thing is about abandoned, like, buildings, like big structures, like schools and barns, is there's, not really a capacity for a residence. There aren't beds. It's not meant to be slept in. One could fashion something if they desired, but you don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff. Especially the school I won't say broke into, it was missing the entire back wall. So we just sort of waltzed inside.
Wow. Were like lockers still up and
It was like
desks?
an elementary school, so no lockers or anything, but chairs and little tables and stuff.
Oh, that's
All the
kind of
stuff was still on the
sad.
walls. Yeah, super
Was it like
sad.
the apocalypse?
Graffiti everywhere, broken glass, broken porcelain, toilets, sinks. Yeah, it was messed
Damn.
up. Anyway, so we broke into a house one time. I forget the connection. One of our friends knew was going to be empty. So we're like, whatever, we're not doing anything. Let's go break inside. It wasn't my idea. I'll just defend myself, and I won't say you should do the same because this is extremely illegal.
We don't condone
You will
this.
get caught. You will get prosecuted. I won't go into that part. I didn't, but winky winky.
You're so bad, Ben. You're so bad.
We show up at this house, and yeah, one of my friends, it had like the realtor lock on it, so somebody kicked the door in, and we just went inside. So we're like looking around, and there's like stuff in this house. It was kind of
Like furniture?
yeah, surprising. And now that I'm thinking about it, like when you buy a house, they can still have realtors locks on them while people are in the house. I don't think anybody was in this place, but there was stuff in the house. So we got inside, and like it was trashed almost. Like there were dirty dishes all throughout the kitchen. There was like garbage everywhere. It was really strange.
Yeah.
Like you didn't expect it. You walked in and you kind of like, there was an entryway, and then you got right into the kitchen, and then there's just a dining room table with plates everywhere, and it's fucked up. And so I stayed about that place, and then everybody else went further in, and I don't know if there was a second level or if they went back into a bedroom, but they came running out fast, and the consensus was there was somebody there.
Oh man. Like did they see somebody? Was somebody awake? Was somebody sleeping?
I'm guessing somebody was asleep. It was late.
But you guys like made all that noise breaking the door in.
I don't know.
Oh god.
I know it's scary, right?
Yeah, that is really scary.
But houses get broken into all the time, and people don't wake up.
Right. I guess that's right. Just one more thing for me to worry about at night. As I hear a noise and what was that?
Well, and then, like, my thing is, I think this is a bit from some comic. I don't remember who, but, like, even if somebody was there, like, when the realtor showed up and realized the house had been broken into, it's like, okay, what did they take? But we didn't take anything. We weren't there to rob. Like, we were just looking for something to do. So it's like, whoever was there is probably, to this day, like, what the fuck did they take?
Old family photo albums.
Yeah, exactly.
Something really messed up.
Like, no, we were just bored and didn't realize the consequences of our actions because we were so young.
Well, we're glad that Alex's consequences weren't too bad and he came out of that experience alive. Thank you again so much, Alex, for joining us at the fire and sharing your story.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. I'm really glad that was the scariest thing you ever encountered.
If you have a scary story like Alex's, or if you're on the other end and somebody broke into a home while you're just trying to chillax, drop us a line at thefire.com. Submit your story. You can find me on Twitter at _the_fire. You can send me a message there. And you can find me on Instagram, Red Hot Chili Pepper with 1 L.
And if you enjoyed this episode, tell your friends. Even if you know a friend that has a scary story, tell them to submit. We'd love to hear from them.
Yeah, and Halloween's coming up, so I am seriously in the spooky story mood, so send anything our way because I'm itching for a good scare.
And rate and review on your favorite podcast streaming site. You can find us just about everywhere.
This is Jill.
And as always, my name is Ben. Thank you for joining us.
At the fire.
The music and sounds featured on this episode were made possible by the following artists. Your very own hosts, Ben and Jill, Metro Stock 99, Vate, Xeno Jam, Young Carts, and Robin Hood 76. You can find their music and more on freesound.org and freemusicarchive.org.
You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.